In the name of Allah, who is the most beneficent and merciful. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. This is Aisha Mir. I'm from Biotechnology Department, and today the main topic of my presentation is quantum chemistry. The content of my presentation is Introduction to Quantum chemistry in drug discovery, molecular dynamics simulations, quantum mechanics simulations, quantum mechanics for spectroscopy, quantum mechanics in material science, and future directions. Introduction to Quantum Chemistry. Quantum chemistry is a branch of chemistry that applies the principles of quantum mechanics to understand the behavior of atoms, molecules, and chemical systems at the atomic and subatomic levels. It provides a theoretical framework for describing the electronic structure, molecular properties, and the chemical reactivity of the systems. Principles of quantum mechanics. They include the following: wave-particle duality, superposition and interference, and uncertainty principle. Wave-particle duality. Wave-particle duality is a fundamental concept that describes the behavior of subatomic particles such as electrons and photons. According to quantum mechanics, particles such as electrons and photons exhibit both wave-like and particle properties. In some experiments, subatomic particles behave like waves, exhibiting phenomena such as diffraction and interference. In other experiments, they behave like particles, exhibiting phenomena such as discrete energy levels and momentum. De Broglie wavelength equation. The de Broglie wavelength equation is given by lambda is equal to h by p. Lambda is the de Broglie wavelength. H is the Planck constant, which is approximately 6.626 multiplied by 10 into minus 34 joule seconds. P is the momentum of the particle. To calculate the de Broglie wavelength, you need to know the momentum of the particle. The momentum can be calculated using the following equation: P is equal to mv. M is the mass of the particle, v is its velocity. If you have the value for the momentum, you can substitute it into the de Broglie wavelength equation to determine the corresponding wavelength. Superposition and interference. Superposition refers to the principle that when two or more waves meet, their individual displacements add together algebraically and to create a new waveform. Interference is a phenomenon that occurs when waves meet and interact with each other. Quantum mechanics allows particles to exist in superposition, meaning they can occupy multiple states simultaneously. For example, an electron can exist in a linear combination of different atomic orbitals. When two or more wave functions combine, interference can occur. Constructive interference and destructive interference. Constructive interference occurs when two waves are in phase, meaning their crest and troughs are aligned. In this case, the amplitudes of the waves add up, resulting in larger combined amplitude. As we can see in the picture, constructive interference occurs where two waves which are in the same phase are they just add up, and then the resultant is a larger combined amplitude. Delta x is equal to m lambda is equal to d sine theta. M is equal to where m is equal to minus 1, 0, 1, 2, and so on. Destructive interference. Destructive interference occurs when two waves are out of phase. Their crest and troughs are misaligned. In this case, the amplitudes of the waves subtract from each other, resulting in smaller combined amplitude, as we can see here in the picture. And the result is a straight line. Delta x is equal to m plus 1 over 2 dot lambda is equal to d sine theta, where m is equal to minus 1, 0, 1, 2. And the d is equal to the distance between slits, and delta x is the change in wavelength. Uncertainty principle. The uncertainty principle is a fundamental principle in quantum mechanics that states that there is a limit to the precision with which certain pairs of physical properties such as position and momentum can be known simultaneously. In other words, the more precisely one property is measured, the less precisely the other can be determined. For example, the more precisely a particle's position is known, the less precisely its momentum can be determined, and vice versa. This principle applies to all subatomic particles, including electrons, protons, and photons. Uncertainty principle formula. The uncertainty principle formula for position delta x and momentum delta p is given by delta x into delta p is greater than or equal to h bar by 2. In this formula, delta x represents the uncertainty or standard deviation in position. Delta p represents the uncertainty or standard deviation in momentum. H is which is pronounced as h bar is the reduced Planck constant, which is equal to h by 2 pi, where h is a Planck constant which is approximately equal to 6.626 multiplied by 10 to the power minus 34 joule per second. And in the picture, Heisenberg's uncertainty principle is shown, where the small momentum and medium momentum and large momentum and their waves and wave packet made of several waves and only one wavelength, and a lot of waves are shown. Applications of quantum mechanics principle in the study of chemical systems. Quantum mechanics has a wide range of application in the study of chemical systems, including understanding molecular structure and bonding, modeling chemical reactions, studying molecular dynamics, designing new materials, investigating quantum effects in chemical systems. Understanding molecular structure and bonding. Quantum mechanics provides a detailed understanding of the electronic structure of molecules and how atoms are bonded together. This is important in understanding chemical reaction and the properties of material. In the figure, atoms are shown that how they're bonded together, and the distance between the bond and bond length and the angles between them. Modeling chemical reactions. Quantum mechanics can be used to model chemical reactions and predict reaction rates, products, and mechanisms. This information is useful in designing new drugs, materials, and catalysts. Studying molecular dynamics. Molecular dynamics is a computational method used to study the behavior of molecules and materials over time. It involves simulating the motions and interactions of individual atoms and molecules in a system using classical mechanics or quantum mechanics. Quantum mechanics can be used to study the motion of molecules in real time, providing insights into the behavior of chemical systems under different conditions. Designing new materials. It involves using computational methods to study the behavior of atoms and molecules in order to design material with specific properties and functions. This approach is based on the understanding that the properties of the material are determined by the behavior of its own constituent atoms and molecules. Quantum mechanics can be used to predict the properties of new materials before they are synthesized, allowing researchers to design materials with specific properties for a wide range of applications. Investigating quantum effects in chemical systems. Quantum mechanics can be used to study the effects of quantum mechanics on chemical systems, such as quantum tunneling. Quantum tunneling is a phenomenon in which a particle can pass through a potential energy barrier even though its energy is less than the potential energy of the barrier. Usually, the particles don't cross the potential energy barrier until or unless their energy is equal to the potential barrier. But in case of quantum tunneling, a particle, even its energy is low, can pass through the barrier. Quantum chemistry in drug discovery. Quantum chemistry plays a vital role in drug discovery by providing valuable insights into the molecular structures and interactions of drug molecules with biological targets. Here is a review of the latest research on the use of quantum chemistry in drug discovery. Structure prediction and optimization, property calculation, ligand receptor interaction, enzyme catalysis, and drug metabolism and toxicity prediction, quantum-based drug design. Structure prediction and optimization. The structure of a drug molecule is critical for its efficacy and selectivity. Quantum chemistry methods are used to predict the most stable conformation of drug molecules and to optimize its geometry to minimize its energy. Conformational sampling. Quantum chemistry methods such as molecular mechanics, force fields coupled with quantum mechanical calculations enable the exploration of the conformational space of drug molecules. This involves predicting different conformations, isomers and tautomers to identify the most energetically favorable structures. Geometry optimization. This process involves the adjusting of bond lengths, bond angles, and dihedral angles to find the lowest energy conformation, which represent the most stable and accurate structure. Stereochemistry considerations. Quantum chemistry plays a crucial role in determining the stereochemistry of drug molecules, including the identification of chirality and the assignment of absolute configuration. Predicting and understanding the stereochemistry is essential for drug development. Property calculation. Quantum chemistry calculations are used to estimate various molecular properties that influence a drug behavior in the body. These properties include electronic properties, physiochemical properties, and spectroscopic properties. Property calculation. Electronic properties. These properties influence drug activity as they affect the ability of a drug to interact with target proteins and participate in chemical reactions within the body. Physiochemical properties. Quantum chemistry methods estimate physiochemical properties relevant to drug development, including solubility, partition coefficient, and the polar surface area. Spectroscopic properties. Quantum chemistry calculation can predict spectroscopic properties, including UV vis absorption and fluorescence. Ligand receptor interactions. Quantum chemistry methods, including molecular dynamics simulations, are used to explore the ligand receptor interactions and understanding the underlying molecular recognition process. These methods help predict the binding affinities, binding modes, and the binding energies of ligands to target proteins. Here, the ligand receptor interaction is shown in the picture, where the first step is conjugation, second is application, third is binding, and fourth is detection. Enzyme catalysis. Enzymes are proteins that catalyze chemical reaction in the body, and many drugs target specific enzyme to treat diseases. Quantum chemistry calculations are valuable in studying enzymatic reactions and understanding the catalytic mechanism of enzyme. Enzymes catalysis involves reaction mechanism, transition state theory, active site modeling. Here, enzyme catalysis is shown where where the substrate and active sites are shown, and then enzyme substrate complex is formed, and then the product is detached from the enzyme. Reaction mechanism. Quantum chemistry calculations can elucidate the step-by-step reaction mechanism of enzymatic reaction. These calculations involve modeling the reactants, transition states, and products using quantum mechanical method by determining the energy profiles and activation barriers of the reaction steps. Researchers can identify the rate-limiting steps and gain insights into the factors that control the reaction kinetics. The reaction mechanism of an enzyme is shown in the figure. Transition state theory. Transition state theory provides a framework for understanding the rates of chemical reactions by considering the transition state, a high energy state that connects the reactants and product. Quantum calculations are used to estimate the energies and structure of transition states, allowing the determination of reaction rate constants and the interpretation of rate enhancement factors observed in enzyme catalyst reactions. Here, the progress of a reaction is shown where in the initial state reactants are present, and then they have to pass through the potential energy barrier that is also called transition state. They have to cross the barrier to be converted into products. Active site modeling. Active sites are specific regions within the enzyme where the catalytic reaction takes place. Quantum calculations are used to describe the electronic structure and reactivity of the active site residues, cofactors, and substrates. This allows for a detailed understanding of the interactions and chemical transformation occurring in the active site. As you can see in the picture, substrate entering active site of the enzyme. Here's the substrate and this is the active site. And then enzyme substrate complex is formed, enzyme product complex is formed, and the product is detached from the enzyme, leaving the enzyme just like as it was in the start of the reaction. Drug metabolism and toxicity prediction. The metabolism of drug is a complex process that can affect their efficacy and toxicity. Quantum mechanics methods are used to predict and understand drug metabolism and toxicity. Metabolic pathways, reactive intermediates, structure toxicity relationships. Metabolic pathways, quantum chemistry methods estimate reaction energies and kinetics associated with drug metabolism, aiding in the identification of potential metabolites. Reactive intermediates, quantum chemistry calculations help identify and characterize reactive intermediates that are formed during drug metabolism. These intermediates, such as reactive metabolites, are reactive species produced during drug oxidation or conjugation reactions, can play a crucial role in drug toxicity. Structure toxicity relationships. Quantum chemistry methods contribute to the analysis of structure toxicity relationships by examining the chemical features and properties associated with drug toxicity. These calculations aid in identifying potential toxicophores and guiding the modification of drug structures to eliminate toxic effects. Quantum-based drug design. Visual screening. Quantum chemistry methods are employed in visual screening where large databases of chemical structures and are screened computationally to identify potential drug candidates. Here the flow diagram of visual screening is shown. De novo drug design. Quantum chemistry play a significant role in de novo drug design where new molecules are designed computationally to fit specific target requirements. De novo drug designs is structure-based, ligand-based, and atom-based and fragment-based.